मतलब तुम कितना भी पैसा दे दो, तुम हमको खरीद नहीं सकते हो।
Have you ever felt under pressure?
गाड़ी भी खरीदना है, जैगवार भी चाहिए, 3 करोड़ का घर भी चाहिए। लाइफ इज टू शॉर्ट, लिव इट लार्ज। माई फिलोसफी इज वेरी सिंपल, लव लाइफ लक लाफ्टर।
And how important it is for a startup to be well prepared for their pitches.
And I think we are all birds who are meant to fly. We're not meant to be caged.
One is passion, other is purpose, and the other is prime time.
So TedX is like the Oscar award of public speaking.
What was that defining moment?
Is the world's richest man the happiest person? I doubt. But as the happiest person, the world's richest man, yes.
As a career coach, what problem do you think mid-professionals go through?
You lose because you look back. You win because you stay forward.
Welcome to Indian Startup Podcast. Today's guest wears many hats and wears them all with style, substance, and purpose. He is a senior career coach, an ICF PCC trained professional, a TEDx speaker, an entertainer, and a powerful voice you've likely seen on prime TV panels. Shekhar Vijayan has made a career out of helping others build theirs. This episode is packed with clarity, confidence, and step-by-step insight. This podcast is produced by Pixelworks Photography. Let's welcome Shekhar. Hi Shekhar, welcome to the show.
You got a lovely studio, I must say. I can see so many invisible hands and eyes looking at me. I feel like a golden fish in an oyster. But jokes apart, I think it's great to be here. Lovely set, lovely place, lovely books, lovely atmosphere, lovely day, lovely city. We are in Pune.
Yes, we are in Pune and doing this. All right. So there's something that when I think about you, Shekhar, I think of these three things. And I would tell you, I don't know why I relate you with these three things. One is passion, other is purpose, and the other is prime time. If you would like to tell us something about the journey, how you've transitioned from a corporate leader or a corporate professional to coaching and then speaking. You've also been a TEDx speaker, right?
Yeah.
So just throw some light on this journey.
Okay. So you said passion, purpose, prime time, right? And whenever I do any session, I ask people this one question: what is important for you, the journey, the destination of the company? Because there's no right or wrong answer to this, right? The journey, the destination, company changes as per what you are in your life. I think all these things which you mentioned was just different, I won't say different milestones, different pivot points in my life, in my career, be it as a TEDx speaker, which was, I think, very interesting because I got to meet some interesting people around me who all had a script in hand, and I was the only one who was going, who was very off the cuff, who was very spontaneous. And at that time, I had a moment of doubt whether I'm doing the right thing, just a slight moment of doubt. But then once I got on stage, everything just disappeared. I just thought that this is what I love doing. The second thing is, in terms of coaching or in terms of entertainment, this is what I love doing. If you wake me up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 3 in the morning, I can get up with a smile and say, you know what, Parul, I'm living my dream. This is what I live for. This is what I cherish. This is what I want to do all my life. I have no regrets at all in this. My philosophy is very simple. Love, life, luck, laughter. You love what you do. Everything else follows in place. Life, luck, everything. Laughter will take care of itself. Luck will also take care of itself, of course. And then you create your own luck also.
What was that defining moment that made you feel, yes, this is what I need to do? And you took a decision to leave your job.
पारुल इतना प्रश्न पूछते हैं मुझे पानी पीने का मन करता है. No, but jokes apart, the question is almost like water, because the deeper you get into it, the more you realize how deep and metaphorical our life really is. And there was a moment in my life, like you rightly asked, when I really thought that can I do something more? Because there was a chance, I was working like a lot of others in a corporate job, which I'm still doing now. I took a break and then came back in again. Where you have presentations to make, and where you're working in a specific structure. And I think we are all birds who are meant to fly. We're not meant to be caged. I feel that everybody is working in a corporate job. Everybody who's in a startup, everybody who's in some power of position, who's not in a power of position, doesn't like to be ordered around. It's a fact of life. Whether we like it or not, we don't like to be caged. So that spirit came out in some form. And I thought, let me make a move here, because I realized something which I'm really good at is obviously speaking, communicating, energizing, activating, motivating people. And when I got a chance to do this, in my company where I was to, do these agenda meetings and, talk and inspire people, even for 2 or even 20,000 or 40,000 people, I realized this is what I really love doing. And this gives me a state of high. I don't know what others feel, but I feel good about it. And when I felt good, I ensure that other people around me also felt good because I'm doing it with complete honesty and complete trust and with all my heart. And I feel when you do something with all your heart, with trust and honesty, more often than not, you will succeed. You may fail at times, but you will succeed. So I went with full gusto, diving deep into the water, and I came out alive. That's what I would
Yes.
say. Yeah.
So, Shekhar, you do have a knack of inspiring people, and I've seen that, right?
Hmm.
In last Indian Coaching Summit, and I saw that, and people were, all over. They were talking about you. I also would like to know that when you had your TEDx speech, you were not prepared for that, were you?
I was not prepared at all. In the sense, I had obviously, so TEDx is like the Oscar Award of public speaking. TEDx is very critical for you as a speaker, as a coach, or as a trainer. If you want to level up, it gives you that visibility, it gives you that appreciation, that acknowledgement that you have made it in some form. People may like it, people may hate it, but TEDx plays a very important role. Now, how you do it and what you get out of it is purely based on your content, purely based on how you deliver, how you speak, how you inspire, how you engage. Now, before I went in there, I went into this place called TEDx Amboli, where I had these other batchmates of mine who were thoroughly prepared. There was one gentleman there who had 12 scripts of paper, like Parul has right now, which is good and which is
Right.
great. And I was, my God, then that's when I started getting butterflies. Shekhar, are you doing the right thing? And I never have a state of doubt about what I feel. I just plunge in and then I say, Do jo hoga dekha jayega types. But that day I realized, and the next day was a show. And before your TEDx speech, you have a day when they mark places where you need to come in and stand and talk and everything. They didn't do that for us, obviously, and we had a lot of speakers who came in. Now the day it happened, I don't know, something magical happened. I was on the platform, and there was Mount Kailash ka, the backdrop behind, and there was this mountain ka backdrop, and there were nice flexes, nice standees. There was an audience which was looking at me with bated anticipation. I could literally hear a finger drop silence, and that's when I got a state of high. I was like, wow, Shekhar, this is what you love doing. Just go with it. I have these conversations with myself where I talk to myself and I keep telling myself, and I never use a negative word for myself at all. And I want this to tell this to everybody who's listening in. Life is too short. Live it large. You should never ever use a negative word for yourself or to anyone around you because your mind thinks through it and then responds appropriately. That time when I was in the TEDx, I just thought, let me just go there and have fun. And I was doing the entire TEDx conversation with a smile, which I don't know, a lot of people related to it, and it was very off the cuff, very spontaneous. I didn't follow the script at all, which I had planned in my mind. There's obviously a script I have in my mind. These are the things I want to say, and I meander through it like I'm in a jungle where butterflies are there around me, and I'm very visual by nature. I'm not binary at all. So I look at things, I observe things, and then I plan and meander through accordingly. That moment in TEDx was fun because I had not prepared, and then I went in and spoke about, why storytelling is important, why emotional intelligence is important, and why observation and storytelling are so critical in what you want to do in life. That was more that, as we talk, that moment gives me a smile because to reach there you have to struggle, you have to hustle, like they all say nowadays, in the startup world, hustling. I've seen this word being used a lot, hustling and flexing. I think it's all a part of networking at the end of the day.
Correct.
These are just synonyms for networking, I feel.
Correct.
And I think that moment of TEDx was absolute fun. Getting to learn from people around you, people who are really good at what they do in terms of reading everything from the script from A to Z, and then bring it out there, on stage. I'm like, wow, that's talent. As compared to somebody like me who is not read, not prepared, just going with what's coming in his mind, and then everything comes in place there. So it is more like improv for me. I loved it.
You do a lot of media work, and you
Yeah.
are also related with Republic TV
Yeah.
as a primetime panelist. So, how did all this happen?
So, my friend, incidentally, I've got a very close friend who's based out of Texas, Dallas. His name is Ankur Isnani. Ankur, if you're watching this, this is for you. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. So, Ankur is a very close friend from school. So, we used to play this table tennis matches in JNU in Delhi. And we used to have this Roger Federer kind of Nadal matches where we used to have these our own competitions, table tennis khel rahe hain, and we used to win and lose, and we were very competitive and used to constantly abuse each other. So once while coming out, there was somebody from Delhi Doordarshan who caught us out and said, "Aaj Krishi Darshan hai. This is a strike of farmers. What do you think about it?" So Ankush Rani my friend had prepared and he spoke. He gave a big speech and all that. And he told me, I didn't even know this. He told me this. You said this that Farmers are the real warriors of India. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, I told.
Correct.
And Ankur told his family that, watch out, I'm going to be coming on TV. That is, he's going to be coming on TV because he gave a 5-minute speech. His speech was edited out, mine came on TV. And he said this because after watching me on TV with Arnav. So I think that moment when he said that made me realize, boss, I think I can speak on TV. But I also believe the reason why I'm on TV is because I'm an instrument of change. I believe we all have the power to harness our thoughts. We all have the power to make a difference. I believe in the concept of the butterfly. The butterfly can make an impact if it wants to. The butterfly can flutter away and go into gay abandon and think that the world is beautiful. But if we want to make a change in the world, if you have the power of communication, media will reach out to you. Now, in the case with Republic TV or the other channels I come in, the reason I come in on those channels is because of the language I use, because of the words used. I don't end up having fight with anybody. I end up discussing what I want to discuss in the most diplomatic, in the most cohesive, and the most natural manner, which makes absolute sense for the TV channels because I'm appealing to a larger conscience. But the most important thing for me is, does it come from the heart? Does it come from something which I really believe in? Because people like us, Parul, all of us as entrepreneurs, especially when I spoke to your husband also, we cannot be bought. We cannot be bought. You cannot buy us with money. That's what I believe, There's something which we have, which others don't have, which is a deep sense of legacy, a deep sense of single-mindedness, a deep sense of what is right. मतलब तुम कितना भी पैसा दे दो, तुम हमको खरीद नहीं सकते हो.
True.
I am not for sale. That's what I believe, And that's what has taken me. So that means you're being stubborn. You cannot be bought, which means that you're very pakka in what you believe in. You have a deep sense of, what is right, what is wrong, and you stand by it. You're almost like an outlier, which is like the books at the back, right? Lovely books, by the way. Atomic Habits. I would recommend that to everybody. So there is a deep sense of rightness. There is a deep sense of, doing whatever is right, whatever be the case. So in media, whenever I speak for what I believe is the truth. And it's always helped me, and I'm grateful to the Almighty that things have worked for me because I speak my mind and I speak what is right. I believe in the life of dogs, animals. I do a lot of work for child rights and youth. If there's somebody who comes in to tell me to do something for them, I will do it without even looking back because that's something which is important. But like I said, you cannot buy me with money. Money is not my criteria for happiness. Whenever I coach, I ask people this: how do you look at success? More often than not, people say, I'm not interested in it for the money. I'm interested in it for, work-life balance and various things. For me, success is playing with my dog or having this conversation with you.
Yes,
Because
indeed.
we cannot define it. It's
Right.
not something, happiness is not something that you can define. In today's day and age, how much money can you make? Are you happy about it? I don't know. Is the world's richest man the happiest person? I doubt. But is the happiest person the world's richest man? Yes. Right? If you think about it, the
Beautifully put.
yeah, we don't really think about it, but the happiest person can be the richest man, not in terms of money, but in terms of rich thoughts.
Yes, Shekhar, indeed a very beautiful point made by you. And just would like to know that, you've met a lot of celebrities and it's a dream for people. You meet anybody on earth or you go anywhere, you find people, you talk about celebrities, people know them. So they all want to meet them. So how do you take this?
So I'm not overawed by anyone. I feel we all have to have a high sense of self-worth. That when you look at the mirror, you should feel that, boss, I've done something right today. In the same way, these so-called celebs, be it sports people, be it entertainers, who come on the silver screen or who are influential people in their own right, they all have their weaknesses, they all have the good days and the bad days. It's like having a regular conversation with them. So I don't take them so, obviously it's about having a conversation, yes, but I'm not overawed by any situation or any person around me saying that this person is, say, an Academy Award winner or Oscar Award winner, or this person has done so many films, this person has got so many bodyguards around him or her. That doesn't make a difference for me because at the end of the day, the person who's talking to me has got 2 legs, 2 hands, hopefully stable brain, stable mind, and a great heart, and that's what matters.
As a career coach, what problem do you think mid-professionals go through?
A high sense of anxiousness, a high sense of self-worth, a high sense of what do people think about me, presentation skills, delivery skills. How can I speak to an audience which does not know me? How do I present in public? How do I present in a board meeting? How do I put my points out? A lot of them have conflicting thoughts. कि ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, हैप्पी भी रहना है, वीकेंड में घर वालों को मॉल भी लेके जाना है, गाड़ी भी खरीदना है, जैगवार भी चाहिए, 3 करोड़ का घर भी चाहिए. They want to keep everybody happy around them, but they are not happy internally. So, as a career coach, my focus has always been, what is your why? Why are you doing this? If, say, for example, Parul, you're doing this podcast for a particular reason, that's your why. I'm here in this podcast for a particular reason, that is my why. If my why is not strong, if your why is not strong, your what, how, when, where, because will never make a difference. Your why has to be the most important ingredient. It's like you're making a biryani. If your why, your masala is not good, nothing will work here. If you make curd rice, or for example, और दाल में जो तड़का होता है, अगर वो ठीक नहीं है तो कुछ नहीं होगा. In the same way, career has to all be about your why. Other skills like a software professional, technical skills, you can learn it on YouTube. But these soft skills are most important. Storytelling skills, a high sense of self-anxiety, and what do people think about them? A high sense of FOMO, fear of missing out. Oh, my neighbor's got this big flat. I also want to buy a big flat. Are you buying this because you're happy, or are you buying this because your neighbor's got a big flat? That they're not able to understand.
Correct.
And also, I think most important is how do they speak, how to deliver. Because constantly when they're speaking, they're constantly thinking at the back of the mind, what will their boss think? What will their colleagues think? What will their family think? And then what they think about themselves has really gone deep down somewhere.
Although it looks like a very simple word, why? But for some people, it is very difficult to find.
Yeah.
They spend their whole life finding the purpose, but they don't.
Correct.
So what is that one way that probably you do it, something that you include in your coaching for professionals to find out
I make them
their
write
why?
it down. I make them journal it down.
Okay.
Because I feel the pen is mightier than the sword, right? And I mentioned this a lot in my coaching sessions. Write down your why. What is your why? Why do you want to do this? I also use a technique called start, stop, continue. What do you want to start? What do you want to stop? What do you want to continue? And if you can start, if you can stop, if you can continue and put it on a piece of paper, it becomes like a vision board for you. When you wake up in the morning and when you go back to sleep, are you doing what you really love to do? Are you doing this because, okay, karna padta hai, because you got to get your bills to be paid, which is fine. Money is important. But at the end of the day, are you living for yourself? You need to live a little too. So your why is going to be critical. And your why, though it's very simplistic in ideas and thoughts, it all boils down to that very philosophical question, why am I existing in this world? Why am I doing this? Am I really getting complete happiness in doing what I want to do? Or I'm doing this because somebody is forcing me to do it? So one question I ask everyone is, say for example, somebody wants to travel abroad. I coach a lot of these young students who want to travel abroad. I ask them a very simple question. Are you doing this because your parents are doing it? Are you doing this because your friends are doing it, because your friends are in US and they're talking about the good life there? Are you doing this because your parents have gone through a lot of poverty to reach where you are and you want to give them a good life? More often than not, the question is, yes, I'm doing this for my parents. I said, what about for yourself? So I make them start thinking about themselves. Yes, parents are important, life is important. But you got to start thinking about yourself in terms of what is your self-worth? Why are you doing it? Are you happy doing it internally? And are you doing this only for yourself? Because if you're going to be, doing things to prove a point, to prove somebody right or wrong, you will never succeed in life. If all our life we are doing this, because my neighbor said you're worthless, or my history teacher told Shekhar you won't make history. Now I'm making history, by the way. So it's not, you're not proving a point to somebody. You're doing this for yourself, because life is too short to hold any grudges. I feel for the naysayers and for the people who don't believe in you, they can see you on the big screen or the small screen. They will know about you from a third person. You don't need to worry about that. Tum apna kaam karo, baki let everybody else figure out what they need to do. I think that's important. So it's about keeping all the distractions aside, focusing on yourself, focusing on making sure that you are doing this because you believe in it. And that belief has to come in from a very, very nice place at the heart. So that requires a lot of soul searching. And that's why coaching is so important. Because coaching is about asking the right questions. Coaching is about getting in there and getting out. It's almost like an interstellar movie where you're going to outer space and coming back quickly. Without making that person feel bad, without making that person feel unappreciated, without making that person feel ki boss, ye mujhse kya pooch raha hai? What's he going to get out of it? Because coaching is that friend of yours who's there for you at all times. But that friend will not tell you, tu ye kar kyunki main kar raha hu. That friend will take you to the edge of the cliff and say, it's your decision whether you want to jump, or whether you want to come back. It's your mindset. But that coach will take you there. That's why coaching is the most important tool. So for all the startups, for all the evangelists, for all the corporate companies, You need to understand what a coach really does. A coach is not just about some fancy looking guy in a suit who comes in there with with flashy hair, comes and asks you questions. No, coaching is much more. And I think we have just realized what coaching is now in India. It's a tip of the iceberg because other countries have realized it very quickly, right? We have our own way of coaching. Indians have a different way of looking at it.
Correct.
We have a very high sense of warmth which we can create, emotional intelligence, and storytelling. That's something which I'm very, very bullish about. Why coaching is important and why storytelling and coaching go very well together. And I believe coaching is not just about transactions. A lot of people, I want to be coached because I want to get this much salary. I want to be coached because I want to become the CEO of a company. No, that's not coaching. Coaching is about taking from transaction to transformation.
And a lot many people want to be coaches now. And what do you think should be the first step that they should take?
I think the first step they should take is, trying to understand their stories, trying to understand what makes them tick, understanding their why, of course, understanding situations they have been in, where they have fought through things, where they have, not given up, where they've been stubborn, where they have shown a resistance to just not be a part of the crowd as a coach. So a coach is somebody who's like the goalkeeper in a football team. The goalkeeper does all the bad work, all the good work, bad work, never gets appreciated. The coach is the one who's always at the backside in the shadows, but the coach is the one which gets you there. So, as a coach, you need to realize that you have that power, you have that communication, you have the power to inspire, engage, and motivate, and also ask the hard questions. That's what coaching really is.
And how do coaches motivate themselves?
How do coaches motivate themselves? By just talking to Shekhar Vijayan.
Amazing. That's a good one.
No, but I see, if I have to give coaches a definition, coaches is not like vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream, right? Coaching is almost like a Sunday, like if you go to Corner House in Bangalore, you have this death by chocolate. Coaching is like that. It is not like a formula ki you want to succeed, coaching hoga. Nahi. Coaching will get you there. Coaching will take you there because ultimately hard work has to be done by the person who's being coached. And coaches have that innate ability. I think coaching is almost, I don't know, and this is the first time I'm saying this, but I believe coaching is almost like Sri Krishna from the Mahabharata. And I'll tell you why. Arjuna was in the Mahabharata. He had Sri Krishna around him, who was obviously there. When Sri Krishna is there with you, you never lose, right? I feel. And Sri Krishna knew the future, knew the present, and everything he knew about it. And Arjuna had this moment, right? The moment of doubt when he said, and the Kauravas who were there in front of me, who are my cousins, right? People I've grown up with. People I've fought with, people I've laughed with, people I've, who've done all kinds of wrong things to me. But I still feel I'm going to kill my cousins and I don't feel like doing it. There is also my mentor there, Dronacharya. There is also my cousins there. There is also my, there's somebody who's competing with me, Karna there. Why should I kill them? That's a state of doubt, right? That's where the subconscious mind comes in. Shri Krishna never tells him, boss, they've done wrong, this, that. Shri Krishna gives his perspective. He tells Arjuna that, this is the situation you are in. You're in Kurukshetra. You're a warrior. This is what you are meant to do. This is your dharma. So forget about the rest. Focus on the present. Results will take care of itself. He did not tell him, boss, Arjuna, you're the best warrior in the world. They've done so many wrong things to you because he knows it. So he asked him the right questions. So I feel, somewhere when we talk a lot about Sri Krishna, religion, everything. But as somebody's inspiration, I feel coaching is a lot like that. Like what Sri Krishna is, like what he does, like what he thinks. And this power of the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is your coach. And a lot of people are not activated that subconscious mind about thinking about how do I take things forward. We're all like, I think in today's day and age, with technology, with the way things are happening around us, people are talking more to Alexa than to people around them. We're having a situation where people will have a relationship with Alexa very soon. I am sure. I know people who have good morning messages with Alexa, right? So that time of people talking to each other like what we're talking right now is never going to happen in the future, which is very scary. And the only way to deal with it is having conversations like what we're talking right now and getting coached.
Correct. And what do you think about personal branding and how important it is for anybody and for coaches?
Oh, it's extremely important. Branding is important. Best example, let's look at India. How's India as a brand? Earlier, India as a brand was land of snake charmers. Elephants hai, wild elephants hai, maharajas hai, and hathi hai, sab kuch hai.
And the women
and the women are wearing burqa and walking around. No, that is not India's brand. India has got India's got a prime minister who was a female, right?
Yes.
India has got chief ministers who are firebrand chief ministers. They've had union ministers who were females. And whether we like it or not, everybody knows that the woman is the nucleus of the family. right? That's the way the power is really
Yes.
happens, right? That's India for you. Now, how is India branded this? In the last 20 years, I think India has branded itself very well. India's Atiti Deva Bhava, like we talk about it, is India for you. And India has got so much opportunities, so many different states, so many different languages, so many different religions, so many different customs. Everything comes in together like one crazy fish market. But still, we still stick along, we still survive along. Okay, we may have occasional mishaps here and there, but still, we're still on the road to success. I think that's what makes India as a brand. Now, why I'm correlating here to what we are speaking is, as a coach or as, as a podcaster, I think branding is extremely important. The kind of words you use, what you believe, what you feel. And you cannot be someone else. Your brand is what you feel, your self-identity, your self-worth. What you believe in has to come out as your brand. If that does not come out in some form, then something is missing, right? You cannot copy anybody here because I believe branding is a lot like coaching. Coaching has its own style. Coaching is not like, it's not something which is factory made. It's customized. And same way, branding is also all about your personal mantra, what you believe in, your belief system, your values, and how you want to present yourself to the external world.
Correct. And very rightly mentioned about women.
Hmm.
And what I also feel that when you teach a woman, you teach the entire family, right? And when you teach a man, you are raising an individual.
Absolutely.
Is what I believe in. And what I would like to know, Shekhar, since you've mentored so many people, what is that one thing that stayed with you? And what is that one thing that you still remember that your coachee has taught you?
So every moment with my coachee is an experience where I learn something new. Very recently I did a session with a coachee who was from a very who was from a very, very privileged family, I would say. Everything had working for him, and I asked him this question: if money was not an issue, if you had no loans to repay, no liabilities, what would your true passion then be? So he laughingly said, "Don't take me wrong, sir, but I've got everything what money has to offer, and my father takes good care of me and all." I said, "Then what to do?" He said, "I would love to travel." I said, "Great." Then I asked the same question to somebody who was from a less privileged place. He said, "I would love to study." And I like that perspective, two different situations, two different mindsets, but how they think in a different way. And I'm not judging both of them. That is one. The second thing is, I had this conversation with Milka Singh, legendary Milka Singh, where he said that, I've lost only 4 races in my life. That thought just hit me hard. My God. And he said, I lost these 4 races because, I looked back. And when he told me that, he spent an extra few seconds just looking at me. And that's when this thought hit me that, my God, this makes so much of sense. It's so metaphorical, it's so relevant, it's so practical, and it's so real. You lose because you look back. You win because you stay forward. It's almost like the hare and tortoise story. It's a different dictum altogether. It's not about being fast, hustling. No. It's about life is like a marathon. Right? It's not a 100-meter race. It's not a 200-meter race. It can be a relay race also. I think now marathon has also taken a different form. So I think it's all about convergence, collaboration, and working together as a tribe. I think these moments, these opportunities stay with me a lot. I also observe a lot. So, every moment when I'm watching in a flight, when I'm in a coaching environment, I like listening into the silences. I like listening into what they feel about what they want to do in life, what their aspirations are. I ask everybody this question: what's the happiest moment in your life? And then I ask them, what's the lowest moment in life? I ask them, how do you look at success? How do you look at failure? Everybody loves talking about success. In failure, they take a little 5 seconds more to explain. And then I tell them, I'm asking your perspective. I'm not asking you whether it's right or wrong. When I say right or wrong, the entire thing goes out of the window. When I say I'm looking at your approach, then people feel comfortable.
There's no right or wrong
There's
answer.
no right or wrong.
Subjective.
When you don't want to be
Yes.
judged, you operate in a very different dictum, I feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt under pressure? It's not related to a job.
I'm under pressure now. That's why I'm drinking so much of water.
Okay. So what is that moment, that makes you feel under pressure?
So there's never been a moment where I felt under pressure, frankly speaking.
Any situation or...
No, but I think there was a situation where I did my first stand-up show. I was a stand-up comedian also. And I did that too. This was for this brand called Häagen-Dazs. And, I did a show which was for half an hour. And my mom and my family had come to see. And I told my mom, even if my jokes don't land, just keep laughing and just keep laughing. And my mom is very inquisitive as a person, very curious as a person. She will not take just a question like that, she'll say, why? I said, Mommy, you just do this. You're doing it for your son. Then I used to use the emotional angle. I'm your son, right? I didn't speak for the first 3 years. Do you want a situation where the crowd boos me? She said, no. I said, then just clap. So I had to do that. Nobody booed me. But the point is, that moment before I started, I was under pressure because I had not prepared for this, and I realized this when I was doing the act of comedy. You have to keep cracking jokes. It's all about your writing. But when it got over, I felt like I was walking on thin air. And when your close loved ones are around you, you feel like you've arrived. When your mom comes and tells you and shares videos of you, which she got from her friends, saying that, Shekhar, this friend of mine sent me your video, which was there on TV, or they saw this motivational video of mine, you feel good. And you don't want to tell it to your mom, then your mom will think this fellow is showing off. But you feel good. Well, I'm not great. People admire me, appreciate me, fine. Teachers tell a lot of things. My ex-colleagues who were working with me say that we saw you on TV yesterday, big deal. But if your parents tell you, I think it's a different thing altogether. You feel gratitude.
Yes, you do. And how important it is for a startup to be well prepared for their pitches. So how can you help them?
Absolutely. I think pitching is the most important thing. See, Parul, what we are all in this industry is we are all elevator pitches. Everybody is a client for us right now. Everybody is a potential client. So if everybody is a potential client, you have to be at your 100%, 50% every time. Body language, confidence, presence of mind, ease of behavior, how you talk, how you look, how you smile. Anybody can be a potential investor for you. So as a startup, what's going to be important is not worrying about mera product pass hoga, fail hoga. It's about how well do you know your product, your storytelling skills. How do you pitch your product? How do you pitch your product in a way that people can say, this can be a solution for all my problems? How can this product be used in a very... And I think somewhere, humor can play such an important role. Not thinking, oh my God, product. Because all startup evangelists tend to, become mad about it. I think it's also important to have fun with the brand and, use that at the right time, right opportunity. Understand what makes the universe tick, what makes India tick, and based on that, pitch your product. So one is going to be your body language. The second thing is going to be your storytelling skills. The third thing is going to be the audience you have. In today's day and age of social media, the whole world is your oyster. You don't even need to look at India. You can look at Southeast Asia, US, and all parts of the world. How do you present yourself? What is your digital footprint? Are you on social media? Are you on social media, actively there on social media where you have an opinion which counts? Are you there? Are you podcasting? Are you putting a blog post out? Are you putting a reel out? Are you putting a LinkedIn post out? Are you even talking about your product? Then if you don't talk about it and hire influencers, that can never happen for you, because you got to genuinely believe. You got to believe that your product is a solution to all the problems in life. So that comes from there. Then your body language, the words you use, the kind of confidence you exhibit, the aura you have. When you come into the room, do people want to listen to you? That's going to be important. So I think your product and what you believe in as a coach, I think we offer a lot there. Because as a coach, I believe I wear different hats. I can talk on public speaking. I can talk on mindset. I can talk about experiences and the transformation. So I think that's going to be important.
So you've received Karmavir Chakra Award and Rex Global Fellow.
Yeah.
What do you need to say about it?
I think that award is given to champions of change.
Right.
And it's a very, very esteemed place to be in, because I've been there. It happened in Delhi in a year back. And the people who are leading this are extremely special. There's no sponsorship which comes from anywhere. It's not sponsored. But the people who are a part of this are amazing. Are game changers, are change makers, and people you meet, you're inspired for life. People who do things without expecting anything in return. And it's great to be a part of that group, because I've done a lot of interesting work in terms of child rights and in terms of, working for rehabilitation of dogs. I love dogs, of course, and we've done something for animals, and I feel we are not doing enough. We need to still do so much more. And that's, I think, why I got the award. And also the fact that I think I've been very positive about it. So that group, that entire tribe which is there of the Rex Karmavir Global Award, I think is really special. I hold that very close to my heart. That's my Oscar award.
What is the role of sunshine in your life?
Sunshine is great. Sunshine my mom sometimes calls me Sunshine and calls Sunshine Shekhar, and I don't mind that at all. As long as you don't call me a donkey, I'm fine with it. But I've got nothing against donkeys too, because they're being exported to China by Pakistan, so it's okay. But on a more serious note, I think Sunshine is special. She's my dog. For everybody who doesn't know, she's got the most beautiful, most curious, most inquisitive eyes. There's a lot I learned from her because single-minded determination, emotional intelligence, focus, and of course having fun by doing what she's doing. So she's been a part of all my moments in life. When I'm coaching, she comes and does an Alfred Hitchcock or a Subhash guy. When I'm coaching, suddenly she comes in on the camera and comes in and tries to make an appearance. She also comes on TV with me. I've spoken her about her at the TEDx platform also. So even now I'm talking to her. So with a tink, Sunshine, this is for you.
Wonderful, great to know. And how did you set up your coaching practice?
So essentially, coaching is all about networking. Coaching is all about letting people know that these are the skills I have. Let's have a dialogue. Let's have a conversation together. And one thing led to another. And with the power of networking, with the things I do as an entertainer, as a primetime TV panelist, as somebody who hosts events, I've done events with everybody from Virat Kohli to Vidya Balan. So it's just been a matter of time when coaching came in and said, why not let's dive deep into this person's persona? Because I believe everybody out there wants to live a different life. Everybody out there wants to live the dream, but somehow, society pressure, parents pressure, family, bachon ko, weekend mein leke jana hai, which is fine. But sometimes when you get the right support system, which you have, I'm also grateful for that, then things work. So that's where the coaching comes in and plays a very important role. And I think in today's day and age, in this 21st century, coaches are going to be a very integral role for families, for relationships, financial acumen, mental acumen, for startups, and even for governments, I feel, in terms of how do you communicate to the mass. And I feel governments, if the government is listening in, not just the Indian government, I'm talking about governments across the world, you really need a good communication strategy. That's where coaches can play a very, very important role to play.
And what should be anybody's go-to platforms to set up their coaching, you can say practice or businesses?
Indian Startup Podcast.
Oh, wow. And other platforms like what do you suggest? Where should they be? Should they be?
So they should come for the various summits. They should it's coaching is not just going and having a cup of coffee or having a cup of tea in a coffee day or any of these other outlets and just talking to an old friend. Coaching is about stepping out and trying to understand what's the pain points, what are the areas where people need help, and for that you need to be a part of a tribe. You need to understand how people operate, what do companies do, what are the pain areas. So being a part of various summits, being a part of various sessions, seminars, webinars, retreats, leadership development programs, I think the opportunities are endless. There's no right or wrong way of doing coaching, by the way. There is no right or wrong. It's just the approach, like I always say. You just have to keep striking, and you've got to work hard. Coaching is also about networking. Coaching is about building a client base one by one, and people who want to repeat you because they feel whenever I talk to this person, there's a sense of warmth, there's a sense of ease, and there's trust which I can trust. So I think coaching is all about that and much more.
And how should a coach price himself? I mean, because most of the times they don't know, they are unaware of the fact, like what can they charge.
So coaching is about creating a plan, right? And pricing is something which is very critical, very important. I genuinely believe you should never do anything for free. Like the Joker says, when you're good at something, never do it for free. The Dark Knight. And I think that's so true. Whatever we do as coaches, there's a reason why we are coaches, because we have a special Brahmastra which others don't have. At least I believe we have, right? And I think we should believe that we have, even if others don't know whether we have it or not, right? The point is, and then how do you price it? You price it based on your credibility. You price it based on your knowledge, based on your acumen. And what is going to be really important here when you price is, if, for example, your potential coach is looking at you and saying, why should I pay this person this much money? They should be able to look at your recommendation. They should be able to look at your profile. They should be able to look at what is this person doing other than coaching. Like how well-rounded is this person? How flexible is this person? What stories has this person gone through in life to reach where he or she has? Then it becomes just a matter of time where you demand what you want and you get it. So the pricing is an outcome of your credibility. Pricing is an outcome of your reputation. Pricing is an outcome of what you deliver in terms of your experience, in terms of your knowledge, in terms of your acumen, and in terms of what you bring to the table because of the life you have led. So you don't need to have 20 years of experience as a coach. You can have 1 year of experience as a coach too. But how you articulate that, how you present it, how you deliver, and the belief you have is important. That you can, I know of coaches who charge as low as 5,000 to as high as 50,000, right? It all depends on the various things you bring to the table. Like I said, once again, when you're good at something, never do it for free. You know what your worth is and you should demand it, right? There are a lot of people who would come to you and say, you know what, let's do one self-discovery call. And then when they realize they have to pay so much for a coach, they would not pay it. And I have a simple answer to this. You are investing in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself and pay money for it, then what are you investing in then? If you don't want somebody to come and tell you what's going right or wrong in your life, and you don't have the guts to do it and you don't want to pay for it, thinking that let me postpone this till I pay my loans or till I do that, then you're staring at a deep hole. This is the call you need to take because the coach knows things which you don't know because of his or her expertise, because of his or her certifications, because of his or her networking skills, because of his or her knowledge. So the pricing is a direct outcome of that.
Correct. And a lot of startups, do you think they should hire coaches or trainers? Should they?
Absolutely. I think startups need that. Startups really need to work on that because it's not just appearing on a Shark Tank. It's not what happens after Shark Tank. Okay, you might have an occasional post on a Facebook or a LinkedIn, but how are you building it up, right? That's important. Startups need all the support. Startups need somebody to tell them what's going right and what's going wrong for them. That's where coaches can come in. Startups also need help in storytelling. Startups also need help in body language. Startups also need help in how do they pitch the product, how do they position the products, how do they speak about the products with enthusiasm. And that's where coaches really come in.
But most of the times they tell us or they tell other coaches that we are startup and we can't pay.
So like I said, when you're good at something, never do it for free, right? And I think everything has a value to it. Everything has to have a value to it. If they're coming to a coach, the reason why they're coming to a coach is because a coach has certain things which others don't have, right? Because of the experience, because of the knowledge they've gained, and because of the networking skills and the kind of mindset they would have. It's not like a random person who's walking on the street and somebody gives them the advice. This coach has got the best interest of the startups in mind. And the coach has a certain philosophy where they work with the startup from start to finish. They have looked at the product. They know what kind of problems the startup is failing. And they are also able to take a back seat and say, you know what, let me give you some honest feedback on this. Let's look at this in a different way. So that trust, that camaraderie, that the way of thinking is what a coach is trained in.
Okay.
And that ability to articulate it, to percolate it down to the startup world is what makes the coach's life interesting. And I think in India, they need to really focus on getting coaching done for startups because startups can do so much more.
Okay, so let's take it into a business scenario. Right, coaching business. How do you, what do you think that is India welcoming coaching or people need awareness?
People do need awareness. People do need a lot of awareness. People do need to understand that coaching is going to play such an important role. They also need to understand that these 1%ers, like these celebrities like a Virat Kohli or even swimmers, even somebody like a PT Usha, somebody like Shah Rukh Khan needs a coach. They don't talk about it. Doesn't mean they don't have a coach. Everybody has a coach. Everybody. And Andre Agassi, supreme athlete, he had a coach. Everybody has a coach. Nobody talks about it because it may not seem cool or it could be a part of the contract. Everybody needs a sounding board. You cannot say you've survived or succeeded on your own. That never happens. My coach is my dog, Shekhar. Shekhar, I was going to say Shekhar. Sunshine, right? So everybody who's worth their salt has a coach. Everybody, they won't talk about it, but they have somebody who's listening in, who's doing the sessions with them and helps them understand what is that 1% or 0.5% they need to be more successful. So I think coaching is the lifeline of success. There's no denying it.
But according to you, how big is this industry in India?
Oh, it's just picking up. And I think this will only pick up if it becomes a part of hearsay. When summits happen in all different parts of India, different parts of the world. And I think India has got so much to offer as a coach, right? Coaching has been ingrained from the very beginning, actually. In school and college, your teachers are also coaches in some form. Your parents are also coaches. The people you work with are also coaches. The situations you have around you are also coaches. I think what's going to be important is how do we put a formal process to this? How do we make this as a part of teaching philosophy, teaching pedagogy, right? Why can't storytelling be a part of it? Why can't emotional intelligence be a part of it? As coaches, I think those are the two important skills which are important. So I think elementary work has to be done. But as coaches, if you want to spread your wings far and wide, you've got to be a part of the summits. You've got to make sure people understand that there is a coach existing there who can really make the work happen for you. And it's constantly about just working like a woodpecker with your nose and just going for the kill. In my case, I would say I'm a coach, I'm a host, I've co-written a book, I've done a whole lot of things. I've also traveled a lot, so all those experiences actually helped me. So it's also given me the confidence that if this does not work, I can always use this to get there. In the same way, we need to have you need to have like a quiver of arrows. Different arrows are there, and different arrows could be used in your coaching mantra. I think it's all about taking a step back and saying, okay, as a coach, how do I take this forward? Do I take no for an answer, or do I keep moving forward? You got to keep moving forward, because when the whole world sees something as no, you should see it as a yes. That's what defines you as a successful coach. That's what I believe.
Perfect. Let us start with the rapid fire round.
You don't have water at all, yeah? मैं इतना पानी पी रहा हूँ. Go for it, yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who's stuck?
Open your eyes and smell the coffee. Yeah. Wake up.
What is important, certification or networking?
Networking along with certification.
Okay, what comes first?
Networking always. Certification you can do it while networking, but networking is going to be critical.
Your go-to power song before a session?
Okay, the song is from the movie Dil Chahta Hai. कोई कहे कहता रहे, इतना ही हमको कहना, हमें नया अंदाज क्यों पुराना.
Perfect, very nice.
That's my song. Yeah.
Career advice you wish to give to people?
Career advice: just live your dream. Do what you love to do. Do what you love what you do. Don't love a job, but love what you want to do with it, and then everything else falls in place. Yeah.
Most memorable moment over the stage?
When I was in Australia, I did a show for the Indian community, Indian diaspora in Australia, who are still friends with me. They got me from India to come in there, and the future captain of Australia, Pat Cummins, was there, and I was teaching him how to dance. Changing a light bulb. I'm not a great dancer, but I taught him how to dance, and he felt like I was John Travolta on stage.
That's the easy way, actually.
Easy way. So I told him, I told him, I said, Pat, you're with KKR, right? Shah Rukh Khan. So I'm sure somewhere down the line you will be doing something like this, like changing a light bulb. And then he thought I was like John Travolta on stage for him. So that was the most memorable moment where I just used my presence of mind and got him to do something, and all the Indians audience just lapped it up. That was the start of many such events, and I really loved it. I think any moment on stage is fun. Any
and
moment
what
in front of the
is the
camera.
most embarrassing moment on
Most
stage?
embarrassing moment was when I asked Harbhajan Singh, how does it feel after slapping Srishant? And I was like, oh my God, what did I just say? Then I quickly changed the topic, and I'm sure the conversation would. Then I also asked him, I said, before he could say something, I just changed the topic. Yeah, that was embarrassing.
If not coaching or speaking, what would you be doing? If not
coaching, I would be an explorer. 100%. I would be exploring different continents, different cities. I would be a new age Christopher Columbus.
What is your guilty pleasure after a long summit or a coaching day?
My guilty pleasure would be playing with my dog, or I would just be playing with my dog. That's my guilty pleasure, because I feel every moment I gain with her is important. So, I just play fetch with her, or get her to fetch the ball, and she looks at it with so much of love. And I feel guilty that I'm not able to spend time with her, because dogs live a very short life, right? They live 11, 12 years. So you want to make the most of their lives, because they give you so much of happiness and they don't expect anything in return. So that's my guilty pleasure. Come back home after a big event where there's so much of high, and I said, let me translate my high to my dog Sunshine, who does not need a high, but I live in a metaphorical world where, okay, let's have fun together.
Yeah, this one question that came to my head was, what is your relationship with Upgrad? What do you do there?
So with Upgrad, I'm a senior career coach with them, where I work with the Upgrad team, where I work with people who want to travel abroad to different parts of the world, like US, Australia, Europe, people who come from different parts of life, people who come from different parts of India, and how do we get them to travel? So as a career coach, making a career roadmap for them, helping them understand how to crack the IELTS exams, how to score well in their exams, what's the kind of intensity they have when they're traveling abroad. The cultural integration is important. Many of them come with this illusion that you have to speak great English. Break those difficulties they have, and help them understand that you don't need to be a Shashi Tharoor to speak in English there. English is just a way of communication. What is important is your mindset. And incidentally, it's great fun talking to them, because you learn a lot. So I'm talking to somebody who's 20 years, 22 years, 23 years, and there's so much of aspiration, so much of ambition. It also gives me a state of high, because I really live my dream when I'm talking to them, listening to them, cracking jokes with them, and also getting them to change their mindset over a 20-minute call. So more often than not, there's a recommendation which comes in through, and there's a video which comes from them saying that we had a great time talking to Shekhar. Like if they get a visa, they send out a video for me, or a mail for me, or a LinkedIn recommendation. But the point is, the fun is not in getting recommended. The fun is in having that conversation with them. The fun is about getting them to live their dreams through me. And that is fun. I really enjoy that part of coaching. Also changing their mindset, slowly and steadily, their belief systems, about making them believe that, what, you can do it. So as a coach, I do that and much more with Upgrad. And I feel education in India and overseas is at the tip of the iceberg right now. And if I get a chance where I can empower people around me, where I can inspire and motivate young minds whose belief system is just being created, I think it's great. That's what I love it.
What is one myth about career success that you would like to bust?
Career is all about money. Career is never about the money. It is never about the money. Career is about work-life balance. Career is about having fun while at work. Career is about learning new things every day. It's never about the money. It's not about getting that corner office. It's not about getting shitloads of money. It's never about that. It's about work-life balance once again. It's about the different opportunities you get when you come on a podcast like this, for example. But it's also about having fun doing what you're doing.
What is your sequence for skill, knowledge, networking, and fame?
When you say sequence, you want me to give a word for it?
No. Sequence as in you'll have to...
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So skill, knowledge.
Fame and networking.
So fame is right at the end, I would say. Fame is just incidentary. If it happens, great. Does not happen, also is great. Skill is important. Knowledge is important. Networking is important. And the last is fame.
Last is fame.
Yeah.
All right. So coffee or applause? What fuels you?
That's a good one. I think more than coffee, more than applause, what fuels me is, am I happy doing what I'm doing? So for me, both take a back seat. But for me, it's, am I happy? If I'm, somebody's applauding me, okay, fine. But am I internally doing what I like it? If I don't like it, I will not do it. Simple.
If you had a tagline, what would it be?
Love life, luck laughter. Yeah.
You mentioned this also.
Yeah.
Would you rather give a keynote in pajamas or do an improv show with no prep?
I can do an improv show with no prep. I can do that with no prep. I've done that also. I can do, in today's day and age where everything is on the web, on camera, you can do it in pajama too. I can be like a Superman and wear Superman pajamas. Yeah, why not? So I can do both.
What's more difficult, coaching a Gen Z or explaining coaching to your relatives?
I think explaining coaching to your relatives, actually. Coaching Gen Z is easier. We have this misconception that Gen Zs are, from some other planet, but I think they're quite cool. They're quite chilled. They understand things pretty well. We have to also understand that each generation is rebellious. Now, our generation was rebellious. Our parents thought that these people will live their life only through video games, watching Nintendo, PS1, PS2, and PS3. Now, this generation is very different. Our parents' generation was like the hippie generation, the flower generation. People thought they'll be into drugs and long hair and bushy eyebrows and everything else, and long jeans. Every generation is rebellious. So I think this Gen Z generation is a generation which has got so much of talent, and which is obviously all over the place. Thoughts are scattered, and I don't blame them for it, because social media is exploding around us, and it's like you're on the beach. You've got this high tide which comes in. That's how social media is right now, and they are really getting influenced and affected by it. We have to also understand that COVID happened 2 years back, and the impact of COVID is we are feeling it now, mentally, physically, and also spiritually. So I think only way out here is obviously going to be, this is my coaching mantra also, your spiritual quotient, your mental quotient, and your physical quotient. All three have to work together like one chakra.
What advice would you like to give to startups in terms of coaching, and how should they be reaching you?
Coaching is a lifeline of business. It's almost like a stethoscope which a doctor uses. You cannot go without it. In the same way, coaching is going to be important, because as a startup, as a co-founder or as a founder, you're constantly looking at your product. But there are things which you may or may not know which is happening by the side, which works well, which may not work well for your product. That's where a coach comes in, who is a third person and who's able to see things in a different manner. So the coach plays a very, very important role. Almost like I said, Lord Krishna, the subconscious mind. That is one. The second thing is, if you want to be successful in life, I think coaching is going to be really critical, because coaches make you see things which others don't see, which you would not able to see, because you are thinking from one particular lens. So that's going to be important. The third thing, from my experience, I've realized that coaching is, not just about what is visible, but about what is invisible also. There's no fixed formula for coaching. There is a certain style which is associated with coaching, in terms of the stories you have, in terms of your transformation, in terms of your background, in terms of the wisdom you carry. So don't hesitate, startup and all co-founders and founders. Your teams need it, because you are right now being bullish on your product. But if you want a product to survive, you need to invest some money, because coaching is not a low-hanging fruit.
It was indeed a pleasure having you, Shekhar, on this show.
Thank you,
And
Parul.
I thoroughly
Thank you,
enjoyed
Parul.
this conversation with you.
Thank you. And I know I spoke faster than Shah Rukh Khan, and I could see, you were taking notes as I was talking. You're so systematic and so disciplined, and I'm completely contrary to that. But I think that's what makes a podcast interesting, right? And as I watch, your husband is also listening with keen admiration and thinking, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.